Hey guys, welcome back. It's Kojack with another episode of Siege Academia, and we are picking up with a subset within the Siege Academia series. And of course, you guys have seen my mini quiz section, which again, that's more of trivia questions, basic knowledge, and just putting it in a process question format, where this one is a map knowledge, or more specifically room knowledge video. And this one will be more of a discussion and kind of going over a specific room or a specific map. The overall thought process with this series is that I will cover each room for a specific map of my choosing. The first map of that this series will be Bank, so I plan to cover all rooms in Bank before I move on to another one. And the idea behind it is to kind of catalog all the necessary information in each room, so you're aware of the different things that you run into, particularly when you're in different rooms, and how it's going to be structured is it's going to be structured based on a couple different categories. The first one being furniture is in the room, that whether they are bulletproof or not, intel spots, which of course include drone tunnels or cameras, connectors, which is what I call the connecting rooms to that specific room itself that I'm doing a room knowledge on. Line of sight, which you covered a different line of sights that could view into that room to either shoot you or you shoot somebody from. So that one is particularly important, because when you hop into the room, the first thing you want to know is, okay, where can I get shot from, or where can I shoot, where can I see an enemy to shoot them. That's very important, especially in this type of game. So that one's probably doubly important. Then number 6 is destructibility, or number 5 is a category 5. So it's furnitures, intel spots, connectors, line of sights, and destructibility. So those are the 5 sections they'll be broken into, and I'll put marks in the description below so you can skip to whichever set you want to go to. But overall, I think this will kind of help increase my knowledge for Siege, particularly with learning the rooms and the different connectors, different intel spots, furnitures, etc., while also providing you guys some knowledge for those who haven't had a chance to really go in this depth just with one room per, room for each map, each layout. Alright, so first up is we're going to be covering Bank, Vault Lobby, as you can see by the title description itself. And Vault Lobby is actually located in the southwest section of the map itself. And if you look at your compass, you can actually, on the map compass, you can see it on the far right where it shows you the north, south, east, and west, and the far right at the bottom right, you see it there. And if you use that compass in conjunction with your actual compass in the game, if somebody, for example, if you're in secure hallway, which is a pretty common spot for Mira, and somebody is breaching or pushing Vault Lobby, then that's coming from your southwest section. So you would turn till you're facing the southwest to get a general idea of what direction they could be coming from. And then of course they could either try to go through Vault entrance and then go to Vault to try to come around, or they could go through Vault Lobby to secure hallway to try to come around, or they could try to go through lockers if there's the wall broken. But overall, you could use the compass in conjunction with your map knowledge to kind of figure out where the enemies could be coming from, and where you could use that to out strategize them, or put yourself in a position to get a good kill. So keep that in mind, that you want to be aware of your compass, and that Vault Lobby is located in the southwest section of the map. And so if somebody says Vault Lobby, that you're going to be at least facing in that direction, and be aware of the rooms that connect to it. Alright, so quick correction. So section number 1 will be actually furniture / callouts. And so I wanted to correct that real quick, because I said furniture originally earlier, but in essence, the callout itself is the room. Because obviously if there's an enemy or defender in the room, or attacker or defender in the room, you want to list it out, basement, vault, lobby. But then you might want to add specifics depending on the things you might notice when you spot them, whether they're near the sofa or whether they're near the 2 carts. So those are the 3 furnitures in that room that has some kind of distinction that you could add to make the call out more specific. On top of that, not all of the furnitures none of these furnitures are destructible. So they, you can't destroy them completely. However, they are pierceable. At least one of them is pierceable, the sofa itself, which makes sense. But I tested out right here in this clip to see whether if you could actually shoot through the cart, and it is not penetrable. So as a result, I'm using glass right now to shoot the cart and nothing. So that's good if you want to use it as a shield to like soak up some damage. And of course, you'd have to avoid headshots or foot shots because this can protect most of your body, but it won't protect your head and feet. And if you go prone all the way, that would probably be worse, because then it could just shoot you more clearly, you know, with a headshot all that way down, if you're all the way down. So that's good to know that that at least provides some level of defense. And if you're, you know, find somebody who's around near the cart, keep that in mind. The sofa doesn't really add much benefit because it's stuck to the wall, so you can't hide behind it or anything like that. But it is penetrable, just in case you run into a situation where you need to shoot through the sofa. But that's highly unlikely that somebody would actually be using the sofa as coverage, because it's just not practical. But, you know, as you can see, I'm shooting through the sofa right now, and it does penetrate. However, I am using glass, and his gun is designed for penetration. If you're not using glass, it could work to varying degrees, depending on who you're using. Most likely, you're probably using an assault rifle anyway, so if you're fighting somebody around the sofa, you're probably going to be shooting at them directly versus shooting through the sofa to shoot them, which, again, you know, I'm just putting that in there in case you weren't aware of that.
Down to one friendly.
Alright, section number 2 is intel gathering, and so there are 2 intel gathering identifiers in this room, one drone tunnel and one camera. The drone tunnel, ironically, I did not know there was even a drone tunnel until I did this video. When I was researching the room and I saw that vent, I was like, wait a minute, that vent's been there this whole time. So ironically, from me doing this video, I learned of a new intel gathering spot for drone on attacking, which is really good, because I'm not as strong on attacking as I am on defending, and it's something I need to work on. So, you know, again, the Siege is a game about learning from your mistakes and improving on your weaknesses, and eventually making those weaknesses into strengths. And so, as you can see right here, this drone tunnel, the access from the outside, from the garage, well, not the garage, but from the outside near where you spawn, in the garage ramp, actually. Yeah, so the garage ramp is where you access this intel gathering spot from, which is a really good spot, because it's really hard for the defenders to spot your drone here, unless they, of course, you know, see it from afar or have a ACOG or something. But for the most part, you can even keep it a little bit further back, and even people or defenders with ACOG will have a hard time seeing it. Overall, that's a good spot to park your drone, especially if you're attacking the locker slash CCTV, and you kind of want to keep an eye on the vault lobby area, the lockers, as well as whoever is moving around in that area. And actually reverse through the drone up here to kind of see where it was from originally, because I didn't know where it was. And then I was like, oh, how did I get up here? And then, okay, I know where this is. So it's kind of cool, little trick I was playing around with, but, you know, kind of irrelevant to the where it is per se, but I was just kind of seeing if I could actually drive the drone back up through there. And the drone tunnel, of course, is good for attackers to know. As for defenders, they have one camera in this area, which actually gives a pretty good view of not only the vault lobby, but the vault entrance, as well as to the secure hallway, and the main stair hallway entrance. So if somebody enters from those areas, you will be able to see them, as well as the elevator itself. So, but, you know, for the most part, that is a pretty difficult camera to take out for attackers without exposing themselves somewhat, because you would either need to take it out from the elevator or from the main hallway, or maybe drop through vault entrance. That's an option, you know, but I won't be covering vault entrance because this video is about vault lobby. So there's a couple options, but it's a little bit one of the more difficult cameras to take out per se, but it can be done. And of course, defenders could use that camera being taken out as a signal that the attackers are in the vicinity. But if nothing is going on, it's a good camera to park on and see what's going on. If there isn't really much going on, and you kind of want to see if you can spot somebody before they take that camera out as a defender. Alright, so we're on to section 3, which is connectors. And so connectors is what I call the adjacent rooms that are directly linked to vault lobby, meaning that from vault lobby you could enter one of these other rooms. And there are 5 connectors right now. There's elevators, there's vault entrance, lockers, secure hallway, and main stairway. Those are the 5 connectors that directly connect to Vault Lobby in some way, shape, and form, whether through an entrance or through, in elevator's case, it will be through a hatch or a floor hatch that can be broken from the first floor to get into that elevator, which then grants you access. But if you need to go into the elevator, you could also use it defensively if you're a defender to hide in there if you're getting shot from the secure hallway or somewhere else, and it's a good place to kind of recoup and then of course come back out and fight. But for the most part, it's very important that you know where the Vault Lobby connects to, particularly if you're making call outs. Like if you know somebody is running from the Vault Lobby to Vault Entrance, like okay, they're in Vault Lobby but they're moving towards Vault Entrance, so somebody knows, you know, somebody who is in either Vault or Gold Vault will be aware that somebody's heading towards their direction. Or if you see them hop through the window for lockers, like hey, Vault Lobby, hopping through windows to lockers, stuff like that. So it's a way for you to know how to kind of predict where they might go, where they're going, while also notifying your teammate of the enemy's movement. This section also directly ties into the next section, line of sight, which is line of sight from different areas, different connectors that could be used to shoot the enemy or shoot the defenders, you know, or attackers. So that's important to be aware of the connectors and the line of sights and how those are linked, particularly, you know, for being more effective while you're in the Vault Lobby. The next section is line of sight. Now this one is really important because in Rainbow Six Siege, if you can see somebody, you could shoot them or kill them, most likely. If, you know, especially depending on if you have what kind of weapon you have. But pretty much any weapon can kill from any distance with a headshot. But you know, of course, ACOGs has superiority in longer range combat because they just have, you know, it's a longer scope. But for the most part, there are 8 line of sights, meaning that there are 8 views or 8 rooms that has line of sight in or out of Vault Lobby. And it's important to know these line of sights because if you know that there's an enemy or if there's an attacker or a defender in there, depending on which side you're on, you know that you can use one of these rooms to gain line of sight to take them out, and vice versa. They could use it to take you out if you're not careful. So it's elevators, main stairway, secure hallway, lockers, vault entrance, vault, CCTV, and loading dock. Now keep in mind that some of these line of sights are not adjacent rooms or connectors, as I call them. So they are like a room or 2 over. Like loading dock, there isn't a direct way for you to get to from Vault Lobby to loading dock without going through one of the adjacent rooms or one of the connectors to get in there. But however, you can see in loading dock with a very specific angle or line of sight. Same with CCTV. You could see from CCTV into Vault Lobby and vice versa, but of course you'd have to go through a hallway to even get there. So for the most part, it's important that you recognize that there's different line of sights for you to see in and out of in and out of Vault Lobby, and how to utilize those sights to gain a tactical advantage. If you're not aware of that, then hopefully this video kind of showed you some of the different angles, because I didn't realize there was even an angle from Vault Lobby to loading dock until I did this video. You know, again, some of these angles, it just takes time for you to be aware of and kind of test it out and kind of see how you come up with them yourself. Also want to clarify that I'm focusing more on line of sight versus on the dozens of specific angles that can be held in any one specific room, because a room could have 12 to over 24 different angles depending on where you're aiming, but line of sight is from which room you have to be in to gain a line of sight, just to clarify.
The diffuser is no longer in your possession.
Alright, section number 5. Direct and indirect destructibility. Now this section is how Siege is so dynamic, because there's a lot of destructibility that are adjacent to this room itself, vault lobby. So while there isn't any direct destructibility, I'm sorry, there isn't any direct vertical destructibility. There is a horizontal destructibility in 2 walls, and you'll see that's one vertical destructibility to the adjacent elevator that's connect. But you'll see that right there at the beginning, these 2 walls to the right. I'm about to hop through. Those are the 2 direct walls that have destructibility in this vault lobby itself, and those can be either destroyed or reinforced depending on what you want to do. If it is destroyed, you can use it as a way to rotate in and out, but usually you want to reinforce that so that way attackers can't shoot through or pre-fire and kill you, especially if you have a defender on site. So that's usually a pretty common wall to reinforce. But in terms of indirect destructibility, there are 11 indirect destructibility, 7 destructible walls and 4 hatches. And what I mean by indirect destructibility is that when these are destroyed, it gives the attackers a way to break in or get in side that provides a line of sight. Now, it's this destructibility that makes Siege so dynamic because it changes each attacking round. Sometimes you could go horizontal, you could go vertical, you could mix it up, mix and match. So overall, this indirect destructibility definitely makes vault lobby a bit more susceptible to line of sight because you could be expecting attacks from one way, but this indestructibility could provide new line of sights, and particularly the indestructibility that is located in the secure hallway, that you break those 2 walls right there, the far to right walls, and you actually have direct line of sight through the window from lockers into vault lobby. So that creates a brand new line of sight. But again, I consider that indirect because it's not directly accessible off the back. You have to actually destroy those walls to get that line of sight. So keep that in mind. When you're actually in vault lobby, as well as when you're in some of the other rooms, in case you're defending in a secure hallway and you need to create a line of sight so you can see the vault lobby and see what's going on. Information comes into play when you're in the midst of a battle and you're trying to figure out what are the possible areas and routes that an attacker or defender could come from to either flank or retake the objective. If you're on attacking and you already planted a bomb and you're defending, you need to be aware that, okay, can they come from here, there, wherever. So that gives you a lot of idea of the different strategies and how to counter-strat that in terms of thought process and where the different variables in the midst of fighting. And of course, this also, makes you aware of what operators are good, particularly in terms of destructibility. Buck, of course, being a very prominent pick, Sledge being another one. So those operators, of course, come into play when you're trying to take advantage of the direct and indirect destructibility. So
Covered.
Reloading!
So overall, in the basement level is one of the more popular defense site on Bank, and especially for in the Pro League, it's almost always picked that's a defense site. So knowing how vault lobby connects to the different rooms and how it plays out the ins and out, the different line of sights, different indirect, direct, different connectors, things like that is very important as you get a full picture of the basement. Since I'm learning all this in more detail now because I'm actually dedicating more time to learn Rainbow Six Siege and becoming prominent. I eventually want to be a platinum and diamond in the future, but it's gonna be a while before I get to that level. So until then, I'm slowly amassing a different knowledge, which is phase 1, to help improve my tactics, which is executed on that knowledge to eventually develop a good team strategy. So slowly getting there, but while I'm doing that, I definitely want to upload these type of series that are a bit more lengthy, just covering one room and help you know the rooms, the names, the callouts, the intel gathering, the connectors, the direct and indirect line of sights, things like that. So hopefully you learned something from this video. If not, I'm producing other videos for Rainbow Six Siege, and maybe you catch one of those and you learn something from that. Either way, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Siege Academia. Alright guys, bye.